The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 242. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on the show today. She is an actress, a TV host, and also a model, and she also just recently launched a blog, and I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Cheska Kramer. Cheska, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Hi, Sheena. Hi, everyone listening. I'm Cheska Kramer. Well, you already said it. I'm a host. I'm an actress. Although I haven't acted in a while, ever since I became a mother, I set that aside and I focused on being a mom to my 3 kids, Kendra, Scarlett, and Gavin. And I'm also, of course, a wife to Doug. And together we're Team Kramer. So I've set aside, again, acting to focus on raising my children. Although I do have a regular show. It's called Mommy Manual. And obviously, we talk about motherhood and the things that, mothers experience. And then I have a segment there. It's called Newbie Kitchen, wherein I cook. I'm no expert in cooking. But then I have guest chefs that come over and that teach me how to cook. And then, nothing there is scripted, so you can sometimes see me, making mistakes or maybe screaming. But then I guess that's what they like because it's, again, it's not scripted and that's the way I really am. And then I also have a segment there that it's called Fab Mama. So everything that I like doing, from makeup to workouts to things that maybe stay-at-home moms have no time doing, but then so I give them ideas on how to make it easier for them. And then I have a segment there with my co-host, Rika. And we have guests, maybe a psychologist or an expert in maybe parenting. So there, maybe you guys can check it out.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, Cheska. And what's your cultural background?
I was raised here in the Philippines, born and raised here in the Philippines, but I'm a mix of everything. So I'm Spanish, Filipino, I do have German blood, I have Portuguese, and would you believe it? I even have Chinese blood.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that tidbit. And Cheska, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
I was trying to think really hard about it, but I guess it would have to be your confidence should be humble. You should be humble in your confidence.
I like that because, a lot of people think that confidence has to be like something big or loud when, we can just be like, have that quiet confidence and just, be humble and stay humble. And, it's great because we don't have to have this one definition of confidence. It can be anything as long as you feel confident, like it's great. And so I really like that sometimes it's okay to just be humble and have that type of confidence. So thanks so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
Self-confidence should be, or for me, I define it as me not being dictated by what society tells me to be or what I should be like. I am dictated by myself, what I feel and what I think is right. It has nothing to do with how other people should perceive me, but more or less it's something wherein I feed on myself rather than feeding off from other people and being bothered by how they think of me and how they should perceive me. So for me, self-confidence is more of like gathering what you know, what you think is best for you, and what works for you.
Thanks for that definition. And, it's so true. I mean, I know living in the Philippines and, sometimes we get caught up in other people's opinions that we tend to believe in, not knowing that, we can pick and choose what we want to believe, and we can pick and choose the things that will work for us versus what other people are telling us. So I really like that definition and how you mentioned that you choose, certain things that works for you. I think that's great.
I notice with a lot of people, they let other forces affect them. Rather than, what works for others doesn't necessarily mean that it works for you. So when I became a mother, that's when I discovered that, it really doesn't matter what people perceive things to be. What's most important is, how do I feel about it? Do I think it's right? Do I think it's good for me? And that's when I found myself, and that's when I picked up for my self-confidence.
Thanks for sharing that. And Cheska, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I'm not a dramatic person, and I've always known myself. I never really got lost in the world of show business, or, I never really let things affect me. If ever there were things that bothered me, I would instantly like talk to a good friend, or maybe talk to my then boyfriend, which is my husband now, or I'd be open enough to tell my mother what I think. So I'd say that I enjoyed my life before becoming a mother. I mean, before taking the plunge, I really enjoyed spending time with my friends and being single. I guess it also has to do with really choosing also the people that I hang out with, choosing the people that can spiritually uplift me, and people that put me where I should be, who are honest enough to tell me when it's not right, when it's good for me. So yeah, I guess I would have to say that good. I guess I had a good single life, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being single while it lasted. And if ever I had dramatic episodes, maybe those were very shallow ones, but I can't necessarily say that, I had issues with myself really. I always would confront it, and I wouldn't I'm not secretive with my family members. I guess that helped. So when I had issues, or when I had questions, I would talk to my mom, I'd talk to my dad, my brothers, or people that I really trusted in my feelings and my thoughts. So I was always put in place. And with that, with being open and honest with people that you trust, you're instantly put to where you're supposed to be.
Thanks for sharing that, and that's great. You are able to have people around you who tell you if you're not, in that when when you're having like an episode that you mentioned, because sometimes you need people in your life to tell you what you need to hear versus what you want to hear. Sometimes the truth hurts, but they do it out of love. And you also mentioned that being a mother was kind of like what gave you that driving force to be more confident. And because of that, like, what's your life been like now?
Well, it's funny. Now that I have all my stretch marks, and I've delivered like 3 babies and everything, I can say that at this point of my life, I'm my most confident, because I feel like I don't need to prove anything to anyone. If there's anybody that I should be more concerned about, is really my children, raising them. Are they happy with the time that I give them, that I spend with them, the support? And for me, it's important also how my husband thinks of me, and the time that we have together. Motherhood really changed a lot of my perspective in life. In fact, when I became a mother, I realized that, this is how it is to have a family. This is how it is to love. And suddenly, finding a deeper purpose in everything. Now you just don't think of yourself. Now you think of, am I raising my children well? Am I being an example? And also with that, my walk with the Lord strengthened. I realized that, life is fleeting, and there should be a deeper meaning in living this life. And for me, I found it with my children to be able to share the word of the Lord, at the same time trying to incorporate whatever I learned from my mom and my dad, like their values, respect. And for me, everything begins at home. So the outer forces are just little voices now. They don't really matter so much anymore. For me, what's important is what I make my children feel, the love that I give them, the time that I spend with my husband. Are we being good examples to our children? So for me, it's those things. It's no longer the things that the people outside it or what society dictates we should be. Those are no longer my concerns.
Thanks for sharing that. And, it's great that motherhood has really helped you get a deeper purpose in life. And, it shows, like, I've seen a couple interviews you've done on TV, and, just, the way you carry yourself, you're very humble, you're very, grounded.
I really always pray about that, when at night before I sleep, I always tell God, so much things has happened for Team Kramer, and it's very humbling. I mean, a lot of families post pictures of their children, their family, and they're also loving and good families. But somehow it's a surprise to Doug and I why God used us, and now we have like a strong following and everything. So every night I pray, and I always tell God, God, please always remind me to keep my heart in check and my mind. Sometimes, you can be silent in your thoughts, but then it's also an overflow of your heart. Sometimes you're caught off guard and you say something that might hurt, or you do something that, might, I guess, people might misconstrued. So I always say that, I hope that I always keep my heart and my mind in check.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, if our listeners are listening to your episode and, they're in their own journey of self-confidence, what would be that one tip you would give to them?
I guess more than what other people might say about you, focus on your strengths. What you can do, the contributions that you give in the family. It's not important anymore if they see it or if they acknowledge it. The most important thing is you're doing something right, you're doing something good, it enriches your heart, you're happy about it, then do it.
Great. I really appreciate that. I mean, it's, especially as women, we always tend to focus on our weaknesses and our mistakes, and, we can take that same energy and, focus it on our strengths, and imagine what we can accomplish when we do focus on that. So I really love that tip that you mentioned.
There's actually a quote that I usually say or usually put in some of the things that I write. It's for all mothers. It's actually something that I said in my commercial, one of my ads. I actually said, motherhood never ended anything for me. It started everything for me.
I love that quote, and thanks for sharing that. And if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, or check out some of your TV shows, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
You can follow me on Instagram and my husband. It's Cheka Kramer. And then my husband's is Doug Kramer 44. And then you can also visit us on Facebook. It's Team Kramer. And then we do also have a website. It's www.teamkramer.ph. So on our website, we have our trips there, and then we have episodes on cooking, and then we have our blog where we talk about parenting and marriage, and then we also have actually a lot of things there. So you can just browse through it and see, what you like, or I don't know, what tickles your fancy.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you also want to connect with Cheska, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Cheska's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really just want to thank Cheska for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sheena. Maybe one of these days, Doug and I can visit your show again, and we can talk about another topic, something else.
Yeah, for sure. I would love that. To our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com to check out cool resources, blog articles, show recaps, and so much more. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.